Good afternoon, everyone. I'm sure you guys are excited for yet another talk. So I am Walid, and I am from Public Policy and Global Affairs, but I am also the Assistant Chair of Students, so I handle student life, student activities, and student discipline, unfortunately. So I will be talking about those things. So just briefly, because I think the most important part of the session is done already, Professor Chia's one. So I will be talking about these 4 things, but actually 2.5, because the third one I think Prof. Chia already talked about, leave of absence, and overall well-being. I'll also get the school student care manager to be talking more about it. Okay? All right, so I want you guys to think, if you don't take anything away from my talk, right, take away this, okay, take away this line. University is what you make of it. University is what you make of it. University can be as fun, as fulfilling, as intellectually stimulating as you want, or it can be nothing of that sort. You can just breeze through it and nothing happens. You get your 2.0, you graduate with a degree, and that's it. It's really up to you, because as Prof. Chia said, it is all about your own independence and initiative. So it is a huge transition, especially those from JCs, from IP programs, although I think the poly students would find integration into uni life a bit more seamless. But for the others, I think it is a huge transition. And that is something you need to get used to, right? It is a transition not just to university, and you should be thinking about your career now. It is a transition to self-reliance and somewhat a transition to adulthood, right? I know the boys was thinking, oh, I went through NS, that's nothing, right? As in you didn't become an adult during NS, right? Hopefully you will become an adult during university. And I have a story about self-reliance, right? So my first semester here, one group of students, and it was a high-achieving students, okay? They actually asked me, can I have mock exams? Can we have mock exams? They wrote in, mock exams. Mock exams. And I thought that was a phrase I would only hear in JC, right? Of course, that can only come from a JC student, right? Mock exams. And that's not how it works in university. Okay? That's not how it works in university. You are required to be more independent. You are required to be more self-reliant, right? Now, if you need help, of course, the professors are more than willing to help, right? But if you are still thinking in those terms, can I have mock exams, then maybe you're not thinking about university, right? So you need to manage this transition well. And the other thing I would say is, university is when I discovered myself intellectually, I would say, right? And by the time you reach year 4, by the time you complete year 4, you sort of develop a few ideas and ideologies and worldviews about the world. And this is where you really need to push yourself, be as open-minded as possible, be as open, think about all sorts of different perspectives and approaches to life. By the time you reach 30 or 35, right, you rarely ever change your ideas on big things, right? When was the last time you changed your idea about something? Right? So it's very rare for older people. But during this time, when you were in university, of course, there will be 1 or 2 ideas later on, but most of your ideas and values are set during this period. It's really a period of self-discovery. So I really want you to take that seriously and think about this metamorphosis, right? So from a caterpillar to a butterfly, right? By the end of the 4th year, hopefully you have transformed into a pretty decent looking butterfly, right? Hopefully. And if you say at the end of year 4, right, you are still the same person as you were when you entered uni, right, then your parents and the government have wasted a lot of money, right? Because you are not supposed to be the same person. You are not. Okay? All right, so one of the things that you can do and you must do, manage your time wisely. And I die a little bit inside when undergrads tell me they have no time, right? This is I know you may think you are busy, but this is the freest you'll ever be in your life. Trust me on this, okay? Ever in your life. So you need to manage, you need to manage your time wisely, and you need to plan your activities, both academic and personal, social, CCAs. You need to manage them well. Of course, you need to be self-motivated. What I would say is your career planning starts now. And it's not just thinking about what are the types of jobs you want to do, yes, what are the types of careers you want to do. It's also thinking about how you can strengthen your CV, right? So pick up a language. Pick a third language. So for the non-Chinese, pick up Mandarin, right? For the non-Malays, pick up Malay. These are two useful languages economically, culturally that you will need, that will strengthen your CV. Overseas exchange, internships. You can do more than the compulsory internships. You can do one every summer if you like, on your own. And student activities as well. And the SSS Club will be sharing what they do. But at NTU, you have all sorts of activities. You have Model United Nations. You have anything for everyone. If you want sports, you want academic activities, that is something for everyone in NTU. So you need to make full use of it. Okay? Okay, so this is the least favorite part of my job. Okay, so every year I will have to chair a disciplinary committee with maybe 4 times throughout the year, and we have to mete out some punishment to some offender within SSS. So I just wanted to emphasize that you need to go through the student code of conduct, and the student code of conduct is online, it's available online, and you need to understand that whenever the code of conduct is violated, that there needs to be an investigation that will happen. Okay? And as I said, that's the least favorite part of my job. And I'll just breeze through this. If you have any suspicions of student misconduct, feel free to report it to me or any of your professors. And one of the things that you really need to understand is there is a zero tolerant approach to harassment. Okay? And harassment, which includes bullying, stalking, online bullying, sexual harassment, of course. And one of the things, sometimes people say, oh, this is a gray area. I'm not sure whether it's harassment. If you're unsure, it probably is harassment. But if you are unsure still, you ask someone, right? Don't act on it. You ask someone whether that is harassment or not, right? So, I mean, simple rules, right? No means no, and always ask for consent. Those are rules that you cannot go wrong with, okay? So make sure you guys take that seriously, because it's not just a school thing, it's a police thing, and chances are there will be either suspension or expulsion, right? And those who experience harassment, feel free to report them to the UWO or to us, to myself, to Ms. Gayatri, and she will talk more about student well-being. Feel free to call the campus security. It's a 24-hour hotline. Okay? So one thing that I need to emphasize, one other thing, especially for your generation. Okay, so increasingly we get a lot of this, that people think their accounts are private, but your IG friends complain about you, right? And this just happened 2 weeks ago as well, by the way. Every year there will be maybe 10 in a year where I get complaints of such nature, right? So, and you guys know your generation better, right? Your generation that's quick to point out people's flaws, that's always looking to get offended, right? So you guys know each other better, right? You guys know each other better. So you guys need to be judicious in what you post online. And a good rule of thumb is, whatever you post in private, you must be willing to defend in public. And if you are not willing to defend in public, don't post it in private. Because nothing online is ever truly private, right? Last year, the Prime Minister's nephew was charged. Our Prime Minister's nephew was charged for a private Facebook post, right? Charged in court. There is no such thing as a private post. It's all public as long as it's online. All right? So just bear that in mind. This is especially crucial for your generation, right? This is your challenge. All right, so just one more on overall well-being. And this is from the University Wellbeing Office as well. So increasingly, we also find that students, okay, settle down. Okay. So students increasingly over the years we see more cases of mental health problems, right? And this is a function of technology, obviously, partly, but also a function of better detection of mental health problems and more openness. People are more willing to talk about it. So obviously, if you feel anything at all, feel free to meet our school student care manager, Ms. Gayatri. She'll be talking next. But there are other things that you can do for your own mental well-being, right? So mental health is not just about waiting for problems to come, right? You can work on your mental health, and there are some things that the university, and I agree as well, right? So one of the things that's crucial for both your mental health and also your academic health, which is make friends within your majors, okay? And this is very useful. And you just need 4 or 5 friends for the 4 years, right? Anything more is a bonus, but you just need 4 or 5, right? And you'll go through uni okay, right? And the other thing, of course, exercise as much as possible. Try to do this. And mindfulness together with the last one. Now, I don't know whether you guys know Facebook's own, okay, Facebook's own data suggests that higher usage of Instagram is correlated with worse mental health outcomes. You guys know this? This was data they tried to hide for a while, by the way, but they eventually released it. And it's especially bad for teenagers, and it's especially bad for teenage girls. Right? But it's bad across the board. So higher usage of Instagram and TikTok correlated with, so you guys can think about it, right? How often do you spend on TikTok? And I mean, TikTok is just a cesspool, right? It kills brain cells and all of that, but it's also not good for your mental health. So try as much as possible when you can to practice mindfulness and get off social media. Okay? So I'll pass the time over to Gayatri, and feel free to find me later if you have anything to ask. Yeah. Gayatri.